Emotional immaturity leads to exploitation. Listen, I watch reality TV to observe. I enjoy observing the mind, the emotion, and the spirit of these women. And many of these shows exploit emotional immaturity. And it is because when a person is emotionally immature, they are reactive. And this reactiveness has become entertainment, right? And so I really want the ladies that I serve to make sure that they are not emotionally immature in their life and in their world. Because if you are, you will be exploited in your love life, in your work, in your business. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today: how not to be emotionally immature so that you can protect yourself, so that you can make sure that people are not taking advantage of you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Okay. These shows that we see, the Real Housewives, the Love and Hip Hops, the Married to Medicines, right? And even social media right now is all about how to get a reaction out of people, right? How to provoke, how to push, how to manipulate, how to antagonize. And I've literally experienced this in my own personal life. And I'm so grateful to the divine to be emotionally aware of myself so that I don't fall victim to the games of other people. All right. But before we get fully into the topic, we got to go back to some Jill Scott, okay? Not even some new Jill Scott on her new album, To Whom It May Concern. We're going to go back to some older Jill Scott for today's build to kind of set the tone, because I've been channeling this song all week. All week I've been hearing this song, and I'm sure Spirit is going to help me to make it all make sense as we go throughout the video. So while we listen to this song, feel free to like the video, share the video, all of those good things. Let's watch Jill do this live in person. I have never seen this video, but we're going to see it today.
You ready to sing now? You in trouble, I can hear now. You in trouble, I can hear now.
Come on, Jill.
They say I'm crazy, the way you got me open, baby. They say I'm losing it, just can't seem to keep my grip. No, 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 no. Now we all cry and we feel pain. Love is gone, we're not the same. It ain't a question of brains. No, 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 no. What is it?
It's love.
Well, come on, guys. What is it? It's love. Now y'all love me and I love y'all. Have fun. Everybody put your hands to the sky. Somebody say, hey! Show. I want everybody to have it all. Somebody say, oh. Do you want it on your power drinks? Do you want it on your candy sweets? Do you want it on your big old beach? Give it to me, give it to me, give it. Do you want it on your biscuits, baby? Do you want it on your rice and gravy? Do you want it on your black eyed peas? Give it to me, give it to me, give it. Give me that love, yes. Give me that love, yes. Give me that quick feel. Give me that good stuff. Give me that love, yes. Give me that love, yes. I'm supposed to sing. want it? Do you want it? Somebody say yes. Do you want it? Do you? Somebody say do you want it? Do you want it? Come on.
Wait a minute. Welcome back, family. Welcome back. Listen, I'm going to have to go down a rabbit hole of my own content because I feel like maybe a few years ago, I had this similar or same type of experience where I was literally doing a case study on Jill Scott. And I'm going to have to go and research that because for some reason, as I was listening to that video, and sharing it with you all, I feel like I did a whole Jill Scott case study, and I feel like it's coming around again. And this is so important because what I'm observing from Jill Scott and what really triggered this video is Jill Scott is an emotionally sovereign and mature woman. In her most recent album and most recent interviews has been displaying how she has the ability to be aware of her emotions, to sit with them, and to use them to move in a way that actually serves her highest good. Okay. And many times as women, because there's been this projection of emotions being bad, right? Or women being emotional. Many times women deny their emotions, which ends up making them emotionally immature. And when you are emotionally immature, you can easily be exploited. Okay. Exploited in love, in your relationships, in work. And I literally have proof of this. And as I've watched these reality shows like Married to Medicine, The Real Housewives of Potomac, we see it. These women, right? And that's why you got to be careful because these women are making a big bag, right? They're making a big bag, making lots of money, doing what they do, being reactionary, cussing and fussing is how they're making their money, right? And I get it. But how long can you stay in a frequency of being emotionally controlled by others? So, emotional maturity is not the absence of emotion, okay? Emotional immaturity is when women have emotions and they do not know how to transform how they feel into wisdom. Emotional immaturity is when a woman can be provoked, manipulated, and controlled by her feelings. And that is a dangerous place to be in love, in business, at them jobs, and even with yourself. Because if you lack control over your emotions and the ability to transform those emotions and the awareness of them into discipline, into wisdom, into insight, if you lack the ability to do that, then you will lack control over your behaviors. This is so important, especially in relationships, ladies, because emotional immaturity means the people that you are engaging with have control over how you feel. And if they have control over how you feel, then they have control over what you do. And how many of you know, and this is just the world that we live in, when you are emotionally immature, People will take advantage of this. We've all had relationships before where somebody says something to intentionally trigger us. They know that something is a sensitive topic. They know that you still have an open wound of that thing, and they'll brush up against it. They'll touch that wound. They'll irritate it on purpose to get you to feel some type of way, to get you to say something and do something that leans more in their favor and against your own. Let me know in the comments if y'all have ever experienced that, where you know that somebody is saying something intentionally to trigger you. Put a yes in the comments if you've experienced that. You could even put a yes in the comments if you yourself have actually done that. Have you experienced it? Have you ever done it? We're seeing it all the time. I'm telling y'all, if you watch a Real Housewives of Potomac, if you watch a Married to Medicine, you will see these women intentionally, I mean purposefully, trying to get a rise out of one another. Okay. So, I mean, and so what emotional immaturity will have you doing specifically in relationships? In relationships, when you lack emotional maturity, you are on edge, you're sensitive, and can be easily moved. And so instead of you being able to analyze whatever it is you are experiencing, you're arguing. Instead of being able to discern why spirit is having you in this specific situation, you're defending something. Instead of protecting your peace, you're fighting. Emotional immaturity creates vulnerability. Let me give y'all a very real experience of this in the place that I coach, right? So recently, at 2026, when the new year happened, right? I get my little paycheck breakdown thing, and I'm looking at it, and it doesn't look right. The numbers don't look like what I'm used to them looking like. And so when I went and did the math, I saw that they had adjusted my pay without telling me. Very shady behavior, right? So I go to the owner of the company that I contract for, and I tell him, I'm like, look, something's looking different here. I don't know what happened. Can you please explain? And when he's talking to me, he starts to say certain things that I can tell that he's trying to trigger me, or he's trying to make me lose focus of the main idea of why we're actually sitting here. And he says to me, well, Desiree, you know, we had to make certain adjustments because we realized we were overpaying you based off of the time that you're working, right? And I say, actually, I've been showing up according to my contract. So what you are saying is not a valid point. And then he says to me, well, Desiree, you know, what type of value have you been bringing? Y'all already know when a man asks you from a certain like condescending energy, what type of value do you bring? They're probably trying to emotionally trigger you, ladies. More than likely, that is what is happening. They are trying to press some buttons. They're trying to get you to lose focus or lose sight on what's actually important. So he says that. And I'm like, I'm emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature. I'm a little bit triggered, but I'm not going to give you what you want right now. I'm not going to allow myself to be distracted. So I respond and I'm like, are you seriously asking this question? Because the value is obvious, right? You don't want to see the value because you want to try to validate this pay discrepancy that is happening here, right? So we're continuing the conversation. And then he says this. He says, see, this is the thing about you people who were great athletes. You have a big ego. And sometimes that big ego just doesn't work in certain situations. I remember in that moment, literally, I chuckled internally. I chuckled because he tried it. He tried to manipulate me mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually by trying to make me question my value, by trying to make it seem like I had an inflated sense of self. Ladies and gentlemen, because I see some of you brothers are in here, this is why you have to have emotional maturity. Because if you don't, people will try to say things to make you question yourself and therefore change the way you show up in certain spaces. And so, yes, Jenny, he did get triggered by my greatness. It was so funny because that's immediately what I thought. I was like, for you to have the audacity to mention being a great athlete and that creating a certain ego, and for you to say that this type of ego doesn't work in this type of space says to me, you want me to think smaller of myself. Now imagine if I lacked emotional maturity. See, emotional maturity comes from having first emotional awareness. What emotions are actually yours and what is not. And so in that moment, I chuckled to myself because I was like, wow, sir, you are very triggered and emotional right now. And you're projecting. And so, ladies, when you are emotionally immature, you will take the projections of other people and make them your own reality. Don't do it. This can happen in your workplace. Literally, it happened at a place where I contract as a coach, right? And let me tell y'all, at the end of the day, everything in that situation ended up working in my favor so divinely. And oh my God, like I like to tell, the intricacies of some of my experiences in the Sacred Sister Circle on Patreon. We kind of already had this conversation. But if you want to know more, definitely join the Sacred Sister Circle because I'll tell y'all how everything just worked out. But I wanted to just share with you how people can use words and even do certain things to try to make you question yourself, doubt yourself, devalue yourself. And when you lack emotional maturity, you are unable to recognize what emotions are yours and what things you actually need to work through and what things people are doing or saying just to get a reaction out of you. So imagine if I would have been, let me move my tripod out of this visual because why is that there? Right? So imagine if I wasn't aware of myself and my own feelings. Imagine if I had some feelings of insecurity and I was not aware of it. Then a statement like that would make me be like, you know what? Maybe I am thinking higher of myself. Maybe I'm not good enough in this space. Maybe them changing my pay was actually valid and on point. I would have accepted less than because I was unaware of my own insecurity, my own self-doubt. Okay? When you are emotionally mature, you can recognize when you have certain feelings, certain emotions, and still not let those things dictate how you move, dictate how you respond in certain situations. When you are emotionally mature, you get to be aware of how you feel and ask yourself, do I want to allow these emotions to dictate my next step? Do I want to be aware of how I feel and choose how I want to respond intentionally and purposefully? See, one of the things that I love about Jill Scott is that her emotional maturity has led to a certain level of sovereignty and personal power. When you lack emotional maturity, you lack personal power. This means that things outside of you controls how you show up. Things outside of you controls your behaviors, your thoughts. A similar experience happened at the place where I coach with another lady who was doing the same job that I was doing, right? And we were talking about the situation, and I'm like, girl, like, what they're doing to you is not right. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what? She was just like, that's just what they do. This is what they've always done. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to deal with it. And I'm thinking, see, this is why that inner work and that emotional work is so important. Because with this specific young lady, what I've observed by having my level of awareness and emotional intelligence is that she grew up with an abandonment wound, a rejection wound, and these wounds caused her to question her value and her worth. And so she would accept certain behaviors, certain words, certain actions, because she doesn't realize that there's something inside of her that forces her to question if she's actually good enough. And so that emotional immaturity has led her to accepting less pay, right? Without a fight, without an argument, just like, okay, this is what it is. And I do not want that to be y'all. Not in love, not in your friendships, not in your relationships, not in your business. Emotional maturity gives you the space to choose what is actually right for you. I want to play what Jill Scott said in one of these videos. Let me show y'all. Let me get to it first before I show y'all it. This was so good. So good, because when we understand our emotions as women, now we are coming from a place of power, and not just understand our emotions. When we are willing to sit with it and move through it, oh, we are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. Let me share this with y'all. This was a recent interview she did with Sway. Let me see.
What was your last fear, if you don't mind sharing, that you let go of, that you conquered?
This one. I was scared to give you my baby. I worked so hard on it. Thought so much about it. Like, what happens, if I give this body of work to folks and they don't appreciate it for what it really, really is? And that's where to whom this may concern came from. Because I was like, okay, I've got to find peace with it. I can't let it sit here. It's for people.
Do I know who they are? I won't know until I see them. I won't know until then. So the title, To Whom This May Concern, and it gave me some freedom, that I could release it and believe that this baby is going to do what it's intended to do.
Wow.
So releasing an album, that's my latest fear conquered. Yeah.
Be great. I love it, Jill Scott. Be great.
Wow. So let's decode what she just said and why she is exhibiting a high level of emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, and is sitting in a place of power, right? Emotional maturity and emotional intelligence doesn't mean that you won't have feelings. It doesn't mean that the fear, the anxiety, the insecurity, it doesn't mean that those things won't show up. So what Jill said there is like, yeah, I felt afraid. This was scary. I did not know how this was going to be received. I'm putting my heart and soul and my essence into something. Emotional maturity says, I feel this fear, but I know that this is something that I have to do. So I'm going to find the peace. I'm going to find the grace. I'm going to find and tap into my inner resources and still show up as who I desire to be. Emotional immaturity and a lack of sovereignty from your emotions and from the external world. Because what Jill was saying right there was, I don't know how people are going to receive this. So that means a part of her fear was based on the opinions of others. And that is very real for her to be able to say and communicate. And that's mature of her to be able to say, communicate, and sit with, right? But when you are emotionally immature, those feelings of insecurity, those feelings of fear, those feelings of, I don't know if I'm going to be accepted, stops you from doing the things that you know you need to do that will truly make the difference in who you are becoming. I really felt called to make this video after observing Jill Scott over the last few weeks since she released this album, but also because we are coming on the spring equinox. And when we enter the spring season, this is about letting ourselves be seen. The beautiful thing we love about spring is seeing these flowers bloom and blossom. We love seeing the butterflies, the birds, the bees, and nature come alive again. And as women, this is what we're supposed to be doing in this season, allowing ourselves to be seen, perceived, received, observed. But if you are having fears of not being enough, insecurity, resentment, whatever, you will close yourself off. You will stay in your dormant state, that winter state, that death and darkness state, instead of the spring energy. Whenever we're looking at the seasons change, whenever we are observing and engaging with the earth, this is also showing us what is happening inside of ourselves. When you are emotionally immature, you don't have the skills and the inner resources to work through the fears and the anxieties that are stopping you from showing up in your magic. Why? Because you're reactive, easily triggered, easily manipulated, easily provoked. And this is so important to observe about ourselves, right? And it's so important to observe this in other people. Ladies, you have to be able to have enough emotional maturity to step outside of yourself and look through the lens of others. Oh man. Because if you don't, you will fall prey and fall victim to other people's projections. Listen to this video that I saw earlier today that just popped up in my sphere as I was thinking about emotional maturity and how it can be exploited. Okay? Listen to this.
Beautiful, stunning. I just wanted to remind people that beauty and character are not synonymous. I think that a lot of people have been conditioned to believe that just because a person has one great trait, one positive trait about them, that there's going to be a multitude of positive traits that follow, and that's not always the case. A lot of people believe that because a person is physically attractive, that means that internally they must be good people. But you can be strikingly beautiful. You can be stunning, because we're talking about beauty, which is an aesthetic. That means that it's external. We're talking about character, which is internal. You can be beautiful, stunning, and still be corrupt morally, very immature. I've seen creators, influencers, celebrities, normal people who are not in the public eye, who are envious, always driven by competition, who try to sabotage things for other people, who try to destroy other people, can be sadistic. But because they are beautiful, that behavior is excused. So when you see this person who is beautiful and they're overly rewarded for that, a lot of times you can miss the behaviors. You can miss those cues of envy. This type of person struggles with self-concept no matter how beautiful they are, but they get to hide behind the beauty. So unfortunately, the character development that's needed ends up becoming stunted. You'll end up missing how they try to destroy people who have a strong concept of themselves, people who have healthy self-concept. I've been in a room.
Listen, and this is why you all being emotionally mature is so important. Because listen, like she just said, there are people who you are working with, maybe even living with, trying to be in a relationship with, that are lacking certain character development internally. And because of this, they project or they do certain things to intentionally get a rise out of you, to intentionally take you out of your place of power, your manifestation, your divine state of being. And so having emotional maturity helps you to be able to observe that so that you don't fall prey to those antics. And these are the things that we see when we're watching different reality TV shows. Literally, this is Giselle Bryant on what's my show we watching? Real Housewives of Potomac, right? On the Real Housewives of Potomac, if y'all watch that show or if you've seen that show, you will see beautiful women, aesthetically pleasing, all different shapes and sizes and visuals and whatever. But because they lack emotional maturity, because there was some stunted character development that happened, they project their insecurities onto others. Mean, nasty, for whatever reason, right? To try to make other people feel small. And yes, we are observing them as quote unquote celebrities or TV personalities, but they are a great reflection of what's happening in the real world, right? Some of you go to work with a person who is just nasty. They just mean. I got a coworker that I work with. Oh my God, this just happened the other day. I coach volleyball, and there's a lot of mature women, but there are a lot of young women that I work with as well. Let's say teenagers, 16, 17, 18, things like that. A woman that is older than me and that coaches there, she's about 45 or something like that. A young lady who is 16 who also coaches there, she says to me, Coach Desiree, do you want to help me with cleaning this chalkboard wall thing that she did? Why the 45-year-old woman yells out loud, don't help her. She needs to do that by herself. I mean, she like 15 years old. Why is she asking you for help? Ma'am, it is not that deep. It is not that deep to me. The little 16-year-old girl is like, she's like, damn, why is she coming for me so hard? Like, and when I tell you the lady said it multiple times, I was like, why are you holding on to this so deeply? Another girl had walked by that was coming to work. She yells out to the other girl, Gabby, don't help her. Don't help her. She could do that all by herself. Nastiness. Projection. For what? So we are engaging in dealing with people like this in our day-to-day lives. And when we are able to be aware of our own emotions, we can have control over how we respond and how we react in these situations so that we don't fall victim. Okay? So that we are not exploited, because best believe if a person knows that they can get a rise out of you, they're going to go for it. If a person knows that they can get a reaction out of you, they will go for it. But more importantly, this energy is about how we can have a certain level of self-control to make sure that we see to it that the goals, the dreams, and the desires that we have come to pass. So even when I go back to the example of the guy that I contract with saying the things that he said to me, right? I took it as a sign that it was time for me to do something different. I took it as spirit, God, the divine, the most high, actually moving me in the direction that I actually need to be going in right now. See, what I realized, and why I'm so grateful for my emotional maturity, is that when I first started working as a volleyball coach, it was really passion work. It was love work. It was, this is what I enjoy. I enjoy coaching. I enjoy giving back. This is a part of what I was called to do, right? That's what it is for me. That's what it always has been for me. And so when I started doing it, I started doing so much of a good job at it that they were like, hey, Desiree, we want to pay you more. We want to bring you on as a supervisor. We want you to be over the other coaches. And so what was just fun, pleasure, excitement ended up turning into responsibility. Like, I gotta do this. I gotta make this happen. And in reality, it distracted me for a long time from what I know I was really supposed to be doing. Okay. And so back in October, and I have like videos of me talking about this. Back in October, my spirit team started to tell me, like, okay, Desiree, you got to start shifting, pulling back your time, not giving this position so much emotional, mental, and spiritual energy. Because the more time you spend at a place, the more you become integrated with it, right? The more it becomes a part of you in a sense. And that was starting to happen where I'm thinking about this place at night, or I'm thinking about this place while I'm not there. It started to take up a lot of my focus. It had become a major distraction. And I had this realization back in October. And Spirit was really getting on me and being like, okay, Desiree, when you gonna make your move? When you gonna make your move? When you gonna change? When you gonna switch it up? And I kept postponing it, and I kept putting it off, and I kept on doing this and doing that. And so when this happened, I'm grateful to have had a certain level of emotional awareness to recognize, okay, I am being triggered in order for me to make space and move in the direction that I'm supposed to move. In order for me to not even take this leap of faith because the foundation and everything that I needed to do had already been laid. Okay. This was actually a redirecting and a restructuring for me. And I don't know if I would have changed up the way that I work if this wouldn't have happened. If they wouldn't have tried to pull the wool over my eyes or play games or manipulate me, I probably wouldn't have shifted as quickly as I needed to. And so that's what emotional maturity grants you. It grants you wisdom, clarity, insight, personal power. And so how I responded in that situation was from a place of power. I said, okay, if this is what you guys want to stand on, this is what I'm doing now. I will no longer be showing up in the way that you all have expected or wanted. This is all I'm available for now. And they felt that shift. Emotional maturity has allowed me to make a decision from a place that is in alignment with who I'm becoming, rather than making a decision from insecurity or devaluing, not feeling confident about who I am. Okay? Let me show y'all emotional immaturity.
Just wanted to remind people that.
Wait a sec, that ain't the right video. I want to show y'all emotional immaturity at play and why it is so important to have that self-control.
Your issue with state.
Look, let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this. This is so good. And if you girls do not watch any type of reality TV, that's cool. But I'm telling you, watching reality TV, whether it is like Real Housewives, I don't do no like Love and Hip Hop or basketball. I don't do nothing on VH1 or things like that. I'm more of a Love is Blind type girl, even though I haven't started watching the most recent season. I also like Love Island. I'll watch that. And then like Real Housewives of Potomac, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. Those are the things that I watch. And as I watch them, I'm literally just observing the mind at play. And it's such a beautiful observation because it shows me how to move and how not to move. But it also shows me a very real understanding about what people are dealing with. All right, let's look at this real quick.
Clearly explain your issue with Stacy.
My issue is that she would act like I was so aggressive towards her, which was nothing different than what anyone else had done or said to her.
You were aggressive.
No, it's a very convenient narrative that you like to pull out. It's very Black Karen of you.
I'm sorry. I absolutely understand the connotations, and I have a responsibility as a Black woman to not perpetuate that stereotype.
Okay.
But she has a responsibility as a Black woman to act accordingly and to behave herself.
Your character is flawed, Stacey. Your character is flawed. I never touched around my husband. You don't have one. That is a lie, and you need to stop it. That is a lie,
What
and you
about
need to stop
ordering
it.
cheese in front of a
That's not what
lactose
happened.
intolerant
Exactly.
person?
Do you like burrata?
I don't need cheese, Stacey.
I would like to please start with the burrata.
So now I tried to kill her with the cheese.
Yes, she did. She tried to kill me. I told her I was allergic. You brought me a peace plant with no damn peace.
What type of friend are you? You shouldn't check your friend.
Okay.
You know our friend
That word
check-
there.
you
You
check
know
your
what?
friend? Yeah.
It's so messy, but such a great observation of women who are lacking. Y'all didn't see that whole video? What the heck? Oh, that's okay. I got to redo that. Why is it? See, StreamYard acts funny sometimes. Let me replay that because y'all need to see how hilarious it is. Why is this still here? I want to remove from studio. I cannot believe y'all didn't see it. Did you hear it? Look, Brianna, I know you be watching the shows. Let's do that again because let's see. Boom. Okay, let me see. All right, we can see the video now? Yes? Hopefully you guys can hear it too. Put a yes in the comments if you can see it now. Let me know, Brianna. Okay, yes. Look at these ladies be so silly and emotionally immature.
Clearly explain your issue with Stacy.
My issue is that she would act like I was so aggressive
Because
towards
you
her,
were.
which was nothing different than what anyone else had done or said to her in
You
this
were
group.
aggressive.
No,
You
it's a
so
very
treated
convenient
me.
narrative that you like
It
to
was
pull out.
aggressive.
It's very Black Karen of you.
I'm sorry. I absolutely understand the connotations, and I have a responsibility as a Black woman to not perpetuate that stereotype.
Okay.
But she has a responsibility as a Black woman to act accordingly and to behave herself.
Your character's flawed, Stacey. Your character's flawed. I never touch you around my husband. You don't have one. That is a lie, and you need to stop it. That is a lie,
What
and you
about
need to stop
ordering
it.
cheese in front of
That's
a
not what
lactose
happened.
intolerant
Exactly.
Do
person?
you like burrata?
I don't need cheese, Stacey.
I would like to please start with the burrata.
So now I tried to kill her with the cheese.
Yes, she
Okay.
did. She tried to kill me. I told her I was allergic. You brought me a peace plant with no damn peace.
What
My
type of friend are you? You shouldn't check your friend.
Okay.
You know our
That
friendship.
right
You
there.
should check your friend. Yeah.
Listen, first of all, that is absolutely hilarious. Second of all, specifically the young lady that had the shoulder piece on, very reactionary, very emotionally immature. And in the whole show, you can see her put on this show, put on this, I gotta just like girl, you gotta relax. Come on, Cameron, what you doing? You gotta relax. And so these shows help you to see how you may be at work, sis. You may be in a relationship. You have to be able to see when somebody is intentionally trying to press your buttons. It is so important to have the ability to do that so that you don't fall victim, okay? So that you don't fall victim to people's antics, okay? Emotional maturity. I downloaded another video for me to show y'all. Emotional maturity literally, let me see, is this the right one?
Appreciate it for what it really, because I won't know it.
Emotional maturity helps you to move and act in a way that is in alignment with what it is you desire. When we are not standing on our square, we will act out. We will do things that are outside of character and, just not be in alignment with what we truly desire for ourselves. Okay? Emotional maturity is being able to recognize when there's something inside of you, something that you know is a sensitive thing, and putting yourself in an environment to not allow that specific thing to disrupt your peace. Now, that is not me saying be avoidant, right? Because a lot of times women may think like, okay, I'm not actually ready to be in a relationship, or I don't want to be in a relationship because I don't want to have to deal with triggers. That's not the way either. Emotional maturity is being able to say, okay, this is a sensitive thing for me. If this shows up, if this happens, this is how I'm going to respond. This is what I'm going to do, because now I'm acting from a place of wisdom. Wisdom says, I've learned lessons from these experiences, and I need to move accordingly in order to protect myself and keep myself safe. I want that for all of you ladies. I want that for you so that when you are in your relationships, when you are at work, when you are in your business, you do not allow the words, the actions of other people to take you out of your place of power. You do not allow the words, the actions, the emotions of other people to distract you from keeping your eyes on your prize. Because emotionally immature people want you to be on the same frequency as them. And we see that a lot in shows like The Real Housewives of Potomac, so on and so forth. And again, another thing that really stood out to me with emotional maturity and emotional intelligence with this show specifically, The Real Housewives of Potomac, Giselle Bryant. Matter of fact, let me know in the comments if you watched the show. Let me know in the comments if you watched the show, if you've seen the show. Let me know. Because when I literally saw this last reunion episode, it literally helped me to see that these shows are literally emotional exploitation. These women have allowed themselves to be exploited. They've allowed themselves to be put on Front Street for their lack of emotional maturity, their lack of emotional intelligence, their inability to have healthy relationships with women. These shows are not about seeing beautiful, strong Black women in power. That's not what is happening. These shows are about being provocative, manipulative, and antagonizing. It's about showing their insecurities on full front stream. That's what they are. Look, no. See, look. I know y'all don't be watching these shows. I know, but some of y'all do. Some of y'all do, right? But it's a good case study on what not to be. So Giselle Bryant, right, who is the ex-wife of, what is the guy's name? Jamal Bryant, the well-known pastor, right? On this last reunion episode, or the second one, I don't know which one it was, they had asked her a question about her father passing away. Her father passed away sometime last year, I believe, right? And she is on the thing, and she tells herself, "Oh, I'm just not gonna cry. I'm just not gonna cry. I'm just not gonna cry." Like, she's literally fighting to not cry when talking about the passing of her father. It's literally crazy. I was literally like, okay, this woman is not well, because for you to not allow yourself to be emotionally vulnerable, allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to be real, right? Some of you don't know. Let me show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all who this woman is. I'm gonna show y'all who this woman is, because I know I can find this specific thing, right? I know I can find clips of her just being toxic, rude, nasty. I know I can find that. Okay. And I'm going to show y'all that so that you can get a glimpse of the type of woman that this is. And the reason why I want to show y'all this is so that you can see how when you lack emotional maturity, which comes from having emotional awareness, you will project onto people. You're going to be mean. You're going to be a nasty girl. And some of you may be engaging with people who have this energy. Some of you may have been this type of person before in the past, just being real, right? You got to be able to see this. You have to be able to observe these types of women, these types of behaviors, so that you can have the maturity, the awareness to understand who it is you're dealing with. Let me see. Giselle Bryant is, oh, let me show you this one. Let me just show you this one. Because I want y'all to see. And I hope StreamYard acts right. Let me make sure. Okay, it's acting right. All right, good. Okay, let's just go here. I really want it to be like a short. I really want it to be like a short. But I can't find one. So let's just click on one of these things. Let's click on it.
Why are you asking that, Leroy? People here? Is this a friend of yours? You trying to go home? Hello! What a nice surprise. What's going on?
You want to chit chat?
Okay.
You said something inflammatory to me. I was showing you your hypocrisy. That's what I was trying to point out to you. That's why I said, listen, Green Eyes, why don't you look into your own family history? Because you bring up race all the time. It's stupid. It's offensive to me that you think that I'm not a black woman, or that you think of course I'm a black woman. But then
you told me you
no,
were.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
Well, Katie, what are you today? Are you black or white?
I don't know what I am. You're not
I'm
sure?
just crazy today.
I'm gonna need for you to know.
I'm not just African American. I'm also Caucasian. I'm biracial. What?
Okay.
Shut up, Robin.
You said, I'm telling you about Robin and Juan because I'm concerned.
Yes, I was.
And then after I left, you still decided to talk trash. Tell
I did not talk
to tell him, yes, you did.
No, I did. I'm not going to sit here and let both of you tell me what I was doing.
Yes, you did.
You need to just shut up.
I'm not going to.
So what you are seeing right now is women who have had so much pretty privilege, they haven't had to develop themselves emotionally. These two women, right? This one right here, Giselle, and this one right here, Robin. They have had so much pretty privilege. That's the best way to put it. That they lack depth and emotional awareness. Let me fast forward them.
It's putting my finger in your
out of my face, Robin.
You're implying that she was drinking and driving.
You were being drunk, but just talk to you about
but then you sit there, Robin, and say, well, the way you drank that bottle of Chemis while we were on that bus, as if I drank it in 20 minutes.
Okay.
That sounds like, Monique, you may have a problem.
Oh, okay, take it on me. So first you mad at her because you're saying she's lying. Now you're going to take it out on me.
Just go,
I know
take
what I
it somewhere
saw.
else.
I don't know.
I cannot speak to Raymond. You can ask me. No, I'm not. So you don't know whether or not your husband is going to be... I said, again, this is in proceedings. I cannot speak to it.
You've answered nothing here.
Giselle,
I've had 14 questions. You've answered nothing.
Karen and I have a relationship a little different from the rest of the girls. I've known her the longest. All I was looking for from my friend was a real conversation about what's really going on in your life.
I really with this, but attack for me. I think we're actually, unfortunately.
We're walking.
I think
we can do it. Are we whispering? Well, on that note, Robin and I are going to walk out, and I'm going to allow you to read everything that's on the back of my shirt. So
turn around, let me see it. What's it? Just slow down. Free Karen. What is
Hey,
that?
Uncle Ben, tax reform.
Who does that? Who does that? Who goes and puts words on their shirts to talk about another woman? That's crazy.
Clown with that pink blazer and that sorry behind t-shirt you got on. It looked like you bought it from a 99-cent store.
All right, love you.
And Robin
And I
follows. Right. Okay.
The fact that you guys are the two standing is very revealing. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Please. More to lose than I got to. Got way more to lose.
Listen, this is not even like, I can't even find the clips of these nasty women, right? And I wish I could have found more. I should have prepared more by finding them because I know that they're out there. Like if I go to TikTok, you'll see it. But the point is nasty meanness, nasty meanness. But a part of how that is manifested is when a woman does not do her own inner work, when a woman does not look at her own hurts and pains and things like that, she will project that meanness onto others. That's literally what happens. And so that's what this specific woman has done. And when I observed her on this reunion show, she would not cry. She would not cry. I'm like, why are you not allowing yourself to express and be and feel? What are you trying to protect? You know what I mean? And so you want to pay attention to make sure that you are not rejecting or repressing your own emotions, because unconsciously you'll project that onto other people. You have to get that energy out some way, somehow, right? But also you want to be able to have the awareness when you're dealing with somebody who is emotionally immature, because they don't have the capacity to recognize what is them and what is not. And that's dangerous. Okay. I wanted to just share this with you all because as I observe these women, I see how money and relationships will exploit that emotional immaturity. We see this all the time, even when we look at women who subscribe to like Shira 7 and things like that. You will do anything. When you don't know who you are, how you feel, and the things that have shaped you to feel a certain way, you're easily manipulated. It's like a child, okay? So ladies, pay attention to how you are feeling. Spend time sitting with yourself. Have the awareness of yourself. It doesn't mean that you will be perfect, right? We're going to have the emotions. You're going to feel the feelings, but you want to make sure that you don't allow those feelings to dictate your actions. When your feelings dictate your actions, you are no longer in your place of power. All right. That's my message for y'all on today. If you don't watch these shows and you want a case study on emotional intelligence, go watch them. Even if you watch an episode or two, you will see how your emotions can be used against you. All right. Peace and love, ladies. I will catch y'all on the next one.